Welcome everybody to this little show that I'm going to have here. Sorry for all the interruptions at the start, but it's a normal sort of live little presentation for you on what we could do as installers moving forward out there and making sure that we're safe, making sure our customers safe. We'll start with the presentation. So little introduction about what we're going to talk about. As I've said, we're going to talk about the PPE side of things. I think it's an important part. And then we're going to talk about working as a field service engineer in this environment and working as a workshop-based engineer as well. And then we'll open up the board. There is a bit of a delay, but we will open up the board for a bit of Q&A at the end and maybe have a little chat. We'll talk firstly about PPE. Well, will we have to be dressed up like, should we say, Darth Vader or Marty McFly out of Back to the Future? Well, hopefully not. I don't think that we do. I think that we need to minimalise our risks as much as possible. And, you know, the first thing I'm going to talk about really is face masks, because I know it's a bone of contention. I know there's a lot of people on the forum been marketing, you know, their face masks, and that's great. I think it does help. I think it's all about, you know, keeping us lot safe out there. But to give you some information about face masks and what the government and what we want them for, it's mainly about just keeping everybody safe, and that's you, your customers, and keeping yourself safe, but also your family as well. If you are in a situation where you have got vulnerable people and what have you, you need to be talking about protection. But the thing that we've got the biggest issue is with face masks is this, what we call this aerosol sort of issue that we've got, which is the aerosol factor, and this is what's coming out of your mouth. You don't even see it, right? And it's all about the face mask. Really is all about minimalising that output. If we can keep that, and every part of every part of this is all about making sure that we're safe out there. And every part of, like, the face mask is an integral part, you know, and we go on to the next levels as well. So looking at face masks, as if you wanted to know about this in the EU, we have a regulation called FFP, which is it's the filtering face piece mask. The FFP1 filters 80% of these aerosols. FFP2 filters 94% of these aerosols, and FFP filters 99%. So the best ones that we've got out there is the get that out, Jason, FFP3 filters. So that's an example of an FFP1. That's the 2. And if I move myself over, you will see the FFP93. There we go. There's the FFP93. 95. What am I saying? FFP. When we talk about the 95 sorts of things, we're talking about this 94% or the N95 product, if you've heard about the N95. The N95 product is, these are the ones that are being bought over because we can't get enough FFP3s and can't get enough FFP2s. Now, I'm not sure about the regulatory sort of levels of this, but all I do know is the ones that are approved for use in the UK are all FFP marked, and the N95 and FN95, I think it is, are Chinese and also the American version. So the N95 mask is the American version. If I'm wrong, please, this is an open forum, please let me know. But as I say, the face mask is all about controlling this aerosol effect. And, I don't like to say this, but a lot of this as well is also around about this customer assurance to assure people that, you know, we are doing our utmost best and everything on this. Another little point out on this, not sure whether you know this or not, but we should all have face masks if we're soldering. And the reason we need this if we're soldering is a little thing, as you can see there, rosin. Now, rosin can give it's not carcinogenic, but it can lead to actual breathing problems. It can lead to asthma, and it can also lead to eczema. So it is something to bear in mind that if you are soldering in a confined area, you know, and you're not in a well ventilated area, then really you should be wearing a face mask anyway. The other PPE that we've been talking about, and obviously I've been round and sort of spoken to various companies and got a bit of an overview about what people are going for out there. Gloves, well, I would say disposable or reusable. Questions: should we be wearing overalls? And obviously the hand gel that we use needs to be a minimum of 70% alcohol. I've got one here. I can show you the one that I have, which is that one. Don't know if I can just about see that or not. And that is 70%. Now, we're going to go through the little processes and stuff as well when we're clean for cleaning and stuff. But we should really, if we can, at all costs, wash your hands with soapy water if you can, as much as possible, because the alcohol cleaner, the hand gel, and I've seen studies on this before, is nowhere near as good as cleaning is washing your hands with soap and water. It's far better. This is just like a down step, really. Which way do you put this on? Well, the way most people do is basically overalls, face mask, then hand clean, then your gloves, and then basically do a reverse order to remove, but making sure that you're using your hand gel at most times as much as you can, really, so that you're you're trying to keep your hands clean as much as possible. The other thing someone talked to me about was, I know I've called it office protective equipment, but OPE, and that's what we're talking about, cleaning all the contact points. When you've done the install, is actually cleaning all the contact points. I've been trying this stuff out. This is you have to excuse me because it's greens. I'm using a green screen, so that's not really going to come up that well. Bad example, but it's a Dettol all-in-one product. I've taken a picture of it as well. There it is. But what I would say to you is clean it with an antibacterial surface clean if you can. Use a microfiber cloth. I've got my microfiber cloth here. It's the wrong colour as well. There's my microfiber cloth. But what you do is you spray it on the cloth, not directly onto the surface. You know, it's giving a good advertisement for Dettol here, because I have tried it on my dashboard, and it does work okay. It cleans where I need to keep clean, so it's good. But if you are unsure about whether it's going to mark the dashboard or the area that you've been working in, try it in an inconspicuous area first of all. Here's the guidance on field service work. So, as I say, got most of this information from the people I work with, and general consensus of opinion from everybody in the industry. First things to announce really is the thing that you can do is call in advance, announce that you come in, tell them that you're about a minute away or 2 minutes away. Very important point here, check with the customer to see if they've had COVID or are showing any symptoms before you get there, because what happens if they've got COVID? Do you want it? I would probably say that it'd be well sort of considering actually maybe cancelling the job. Okay, when they're there, maintain your 2 metre distance with your even with your PPE on, you know, make sure that you maintain that 2 metre distance. Things like asking them to leave the key on the seat. Definitely don't need to take any signatures, not at this moment in time. You know, don't worry about it. I don't think you need to be worrying too much about signatures. But as long as you've done all your photo captures and everything else, I think that'll be okay. Clean all your surfaces around. Clean all the surfaces, you know, that you've touched. And another little point here, you know, if you are out and about, keep a contact trace record. So, you know, think about that contact trace record. Keep a record of all the people you visited, because if you do unfortunately get this nasty virus, you need to make sure that you can sort of trace that back. So in the workshop, again, same sort of thing, maintain. This is the most key part of this, you know, the advice that I can give you. Maintain social distance as much as possible. You know, you've got, you know, in a workshop, it's great because you've got what you can wash your hands regularly. If you're working with another individual, try to avoid face-to-face contact and do a side-to-side contact or a back-to-back contact rather than and work that way rather than working face-to-face, because obviously the aerosol effect can do that. And yeah, again, wear a face mask if social distance is not possible. And something I was going to think about this is contactless payment and making sure you keep all that clean. One important area that I've not really mentioned yet, and because we're using these things, keep these little bad boys clean. Really important to keep that clean. Keep your device clean, because you know your hands on it all day, you know, and it's only like a 2-minute job to give you, you know, to give it a bit of a spray, you know, and give it a bit of a clean, because that's the one that's going to come in contact really more or less with your face as well. Another little reminder about if you are in a workshop, you may need to fit in a public area. You may need to put like perspex and stuff in order to sort of, you know, keep things on the level. I know that a lot of you guys out there have already done that already. Okay, so listen, guys, thank you ever so much, and girls, thank you ever so much for listening on to me bobbling on. As I say, I'm going to try and do a bit more of these. The next one, I'm going to try and do one next week on Wednesday, and it's hopefully going to be about soldering, because I think that there's a lot of bone of contentions. I'm sure you agree that there's a fair bit about soldering and the right way and the wrong way to do it. So, thanks very much. Cheers. See you later.